Thank you, Obi Shelton, for that beautiful rendition of what the world needs now is love. I'm Stuart Muszynski, and I'm the CEO, President, and co-founder of Values in Action Foundation. And want to welcome everybody and thank everyone for coming out, those who are watching virtually, and for your support. Before I start, I'd like you to turn to the video screens because we want to create some context for this event tonight. Take a look. Hi, I'm Stuart Muszynski, and I'm the president of Values in Action Foundation. I'm here with a recipe for a smoothie that will nourish the most vital part of your health in this time of isolation, negativity, and fear. We can have the meanness smoothie. When we're mean to people, we mess up the world, and we do make a big mess. Or we could take this kindness smoothie that's all full of kind ingredients, that's nourished by the sun, and nourished by our hearts, and nourished by our souls. So which one would you choose? Life's a smoothie, and let's just be kind. Thanks again. This evening, you'll be hearing a lot about kindness, and that's because at Values in Action Foundation, the value of kindness is at the heart of everything we do. It's kind of a gateway to human behavior. Each act of kindness affects 3 people and increases happiness because we each get an endorphin boost. And studies have shown that kindness increases workplace performance, decreases illness, and increases lifespan. If each of us in society can predetermine if our actions, which, like the smoothie, is often based on a mixture of emotions, will be in the kindness category or the meanness category, the kindness smoothie or the meanness smoothie, we would have a totally different society, community, country, and world. Our mission is, simply put, to empower students and adults with the tools and skills to make values-based decisions every day. And by and large, what we put into our mind, which is our computer or control center, regulates our behaviors. Values, or the lack thereof, become the software for our minds. Values-based decisions enable us to be successful human beings, successful students, employers, employees, fathers, mothers, and citizens. But as many teachers and employers tell us, they can teach a subject or a skill, but they can't teach values. And yet in today's world, values must be taught, and that's what we do. And I'm happy to report that since 1994, Values in Action has trained 1,088,000 students in all 50 states, with our largest concentration in 74 Ohio counties, 2nd in Texas, 3rd in Florida, and 4th in Pennsylvania. And how we do it is through 4 different programming elements. We started out in 1994 as Project Love, so we have our Project Love programming that trains elementary and secondary students through interactive workshops how to act with kindness, caring, and respect. And this training has reduced bullying, boosted school culture, and increased graduation rates. For example, at John Adams High School in Cleveland, intensive Project Love programming that involved integrating social emotional learning and kindness in all elements of the school increased graduation rates from 2017 to 2020 from 50% to 93%, reduced suspensions by over 80%, and reduced in-school fighting to 0. Our VIA workforce training pairs students with corporate mentors and puts students through a 16-week soft skills, character, and values curriculum and provides graduating students with jobs. Our partner here, Dan Charney, who runs Direct Recruiters, actually created a new division, Direct Community Impact, to create jobs for these students that are graduating from the VIA training. One WageLock executive commented that VIA training provided the company with the best entry-level welders they had recently seen. The Just Be Kind national initiative provides schools, communities, and companies with an app for embedding unity and kindness in a culture and doing and reporting acts of kindness. And you know, there are lots of acts of kindness going around, but we're not aware of it because it takes 5 positives to offset 1 negative in the human mind. And all of this curriculum will be distributed to every K-12 school in the state and ultimately to schools across the country. KFC has jumped on board. Students who do acts of kindness will also be receiving a free meal from KFC. And our Kindland initiative, which is our community-wide Just Be Kind model in Northeast Ohio, along with more than 300 leaders and partner organizations, is doing the same with our community with the objective of reporting 1 million acts of kindness by the end of 2021. We are already over 500,000. I also want to introduce Captain Jacob Bell. Captain Bell is in charge of the mass vaccination at CSU's Wolstein Center, and they have already served 100,000 people. And certainly every vaccination was an act of kindness. You'll be finding out more about Kindland throughout this event. So values matter, kindness matters, and that's why our honorees tonight are so special, because they embody both. We hope you all enjoy this award show, and if you feel inspired at any time this evening, you can donate to Values in Action by texting values to 345-345. Values to 345-345. Thank you for your support. And let's keep in mind as we consider our work and the awardees tonight. Many years ago, President Theodore Roosevelt said, "To educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society." We have the same challenge today. Thank you once again for your support. And please turn to the video screens now to hear from Hudson High School with our first Kindland update. These Kindland updates will be running throughout the evening, and then afterwards, our first award video will play right after. Please turn to the video screens. Thanks again.
The Kindland initiative at our school and our community has been amazing. I just gave a gift basket to our principal. Nothing is too small or too great to spread kindness and joy. Our own class has been moved and inspired by the Kindland initiative to be able to have a positive impact in our own school district, our community, and Cleveland itself. The past year has been a real challenge for students everywhere. Remote learning and social distancing during a time in a student's life where they need connections most has made many young people feel isolated. The gift of kindness is needed more than ever right now, and students who have gone the extra mile to reach out and be there for others deserve our appreciation. On behalf of students everywhere, we congratulate this year's Eric Scott Russell Student Kindness Award recipient.
The Eric Scott Russell Student Kindness Award recognizes students who consistently demonstrate kindness, caring, and respect in their schools or communities. This year's honorees, Kayla Morris and Ria Mahajan, are taking their acts of kindness one step further, spreading kindness across the globe. Both students at Hathaway Brown in Shaker Heights, Kayla and Ria started a nonprofit organization called Nature of Kindness. Their mission is to spread positivity and environmental awareness by sending eco-friendly kindness packages as a way to bring joy to others. The packages, which Kayla and Ria call Envelopes of Happiness, consist of a personalized thank you note, a plantable active kindness card, inspirational quote sheets, and locally made and designed stickers, all packaged inside a biodegradable envelope. It is their hope that the packages will deliver happiness and hope to anyone who may be stressed or just in need of a kind note to change their day. Kayla and Ria generously donate their proceeds to the Sierra Club, an organization which lobbies for the preservation of our green space, and also to anti-bullying organizations. For their efforts to spread kindness and save the environment in the process, Values in Action is proud to award Kayla and Ria the Eric Scott Russell Student Kindness Award.
Kayla and Ria, thank you for inspiring your classmates, inspiring your school, and inspiring our community. And we look forward to working with you as you graduate from your junior year to your senior year and beyond. And thanks again.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. We're so honored to be here this evening and being honored with this Eric Scott Russell Student Kindness Award. When we first came up with the idea of Nature of Kindness, it seemed like, oh my God, we're never going to reach our goal. But now, since our launch in February, we've sent out more than 80 packages, which is amazing.
Sorry. We're beyond grateful for the support we've received from our families, our mentors at school, and of course, Values in Action. And we're so excited to continue our goal of spreading kindness across the community, the Cleveland community and beyond. So thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you. Thank you.
When one of the members of our church shared with me the Kindland Project a few months ago, I knew it was something we needed to embrace because being kind is simply part of what we do as a church. Being part of this has caused us to be more intentional in the acts of kindness that we do every day and to focus more on our common humanity than the differences we find with one another. We've just raised more than $15,000 in our annual Teeter-Totter Marathon to feed hungry families and have embraced a new ministry with Edna House, a place for women coming out of addiction, and have provided a number of meals for them in the past months. Just some ways that we embrace the Kindland Project. We are so privileged and proud to be a part of this great effort. Leading the St. Ignatius Wildcats to countless titles since the 80s, Chuck Kyle is a coach that develops more than just great athletes. He develops great young men. And his passion for instilling values, character, and a spirit of winning in his team members that will last them a lifetime extends beyond the field into his English classes. Through literature and his own life lessons, he continues to show students that to truly win at life, you must make a better world for all the lives you touch. For all the lives he has enriched and the example he continues to set, we present Coach Chuck Kyle with the Close Caputo Educator of Humanity Award.
Coach Kyle's values is faith first. Everything we do here is centered around faith, and he really acts that out. Prayer before and after every game, mass before every game. We have a team chaplain. Father Ream would do the team masses, so definitely faith first, and then being able to experience more of the Mr. Kyle, I guess you could say, in the classroom opposed to Coach Kyle is, academics come next. Why his values are why they are today is because of this place, because of St. Ignatius. I think he just has a deep love and passion for helping others, and I'd say specifically helping, turning young boys into young men.
Really what stands out for me about Coach Kyle is his great integrity. I like to say that certainly his parents brought him up with great integrity, but a school like St. Ignatius High School, where he himself graduated in 1969, I really believe instilled tremendous values like integrity within him. Coach Kyle is known for a particular quotation, is to say that faith has nothing to do with it is a sham. To me, what that says is Coach Kyle believes that in the end and from the beginning, it's all about our lived faith. I see it in Chico Kyle so clearly. I think that is the source of his success.
The culture in the program is incredibly strong. It's incredibly selfless. It's very Ignatian. And I think the success of the program has been a result of that culture. You can have good players, collegiate players, some that make the pros, but really the backbone of the program is the culture that is instituted in everybody and the trust that they have in the coach in leading them down that path. So I would say the values that define Coach Kyle are really hard work, honesty, and selflessness. I would put those three up there.
The mantra I always believed in, and every year tell the football team, is wins and losses, they'll take care of themselves. What we're going to learn in this program is to prepare, and to prepare mentally and physically and spiritually for whatever challenge you have. My vocation is being a Jesuit teacher, coach, that can spread the good word a little bit and hopefully get other kids excited about, as I was, to take on the challenges with that philosophy in mind. When you say core values, I think just the faith that this can be done, the work ethic that can be done, and just the desire to do that, the desire to solve the problems. Amazing how this country can do that. We have a horrible epidemic, and within months, we can solve it with the vaccines and so on. That's America. That's what we teach. That's what we believe in. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually for any challenge that comes up. If one does that, certainly the success will come. Have faith. The failures will come. You'll handle it. And just go about life that way. That's who I am.
Chico, it gives me great pleasure to be part of this tribute as you receive this well-deserved honor. You deserve so much thanks, so much recognition for what it is you do here at St. Ignatius High School for countless young men in the classroom and certainly on the field of play. From the bottom of my heart, my deepest congratulations and my deepest gratitude for all that you are about, for all that you offer. Thank you.
Congrats, Coach, on receiving the Close Caputo Educator of Humanity Award. On behalf of all your former players and students and anyone you've impacted positively over the years here, we thank you and congratulations.
Hey Chico, congratulations for your values in action, the Close Caputo Educator of Humanity Award. You greatly deserve this, and I think it's awesome that you are being honored for a lifetime of dedication to the young men at St. Ignatius High School, both in the classroom and on the field. You're the best. Way to go, Coach. Congratulations.
I know him affectionately as Dad, but most everyone else knows Chuck Kyle is a legendary football coach at Cleveland's St. Ignatius High School. A lot of people ask me when he started as head coach, 1983, and St. Ignatius never qualified for the OHSAA playoffs until 1988, when his 14-0 division and state championship team started a run and a tradition of championships to the current day. But it's not just football that he focuses on. In the Jesuit tradition, Coach Kyle doesn't want his guys to just be athletes. He shapes stellar human beings, teaching service, compassion, and kindness alongside sportsmanship, achievement, and winning. At his heart, he is an English teacher. We used to watch movies of Hamlet, and he would stop and explain Shakespeare like he was explaining a football play. And I know firsthand, he teaches lessons of human endeavors, human compassion, human tragedy, and human character. He is not just a coach, not just a teacher. He is a superb human being and a role model for his students, his peers, and his community. He is also known to a few little kiddos as a superstar grandpa. Like award namesakes, Cleveland educator Carol Close and Berkshire educator Charlie Caputo, and like prior award recipients, St. Ignatius's Tom Pasco, St. Vincent St. Mary's coach Drew Joyce, and CMSD's Dr. Terrence Menifee, Dr. Larry Baldoff, and Jesse Winston before him, Chuck Kyle merits the 2021 Close Caputo Educator of Humanity Award.
Okay. Well, good evening. Who's that old guy that was in that video? Golly. You know, you see that and you go, it's okay. It's good. It's good things. You know, when you have a daughter in the news, you always have to watch out. You know, she'll surprise you with various things, as she did there. You know, Shakespeare once said, "Oh, this learning, what a thing it is." That's what I spent my life wondering from the very first day that I walked in to sign my contract at St. Ignatius High School from John Carroll. I walked in and I won't even tell you how much they were going to pay me. It was a joke, but I walk in, and I'll just tell you this. I was going to teach English. I was excited about that. And I was going to be an assistant football coach. I had the energy. I loved doing that. And the athletic director was John Wirtz, great man. And he was walking down the hall as I'm walking in to go sign my contract. And he looked at me and he goes, "Chico, you ran track when you were here." "Yes, sir, I did." "Do you want to be the head track coach?" "Yes, sir, sure." I never said no to the man. So I said yes. I've been track coach at St. Ignatius High School, by the way, for 48 years. That was the interview I had. But what it is, and honestly, and I thank you so much for this award. I'm very humbled by this, and just thrilled. It's just a wonderful thing. I wanted to teach English and coach some things. I enjoyed that. And what I quickly found out is that there's a desire to learn, and one of the most beautiful things, David McCullough said this, and I watched him one time at an interview, and he said, you know, the best teachers are the ones that love their subjects and the students realize that they love their subject, because it catches on. Catches on. And I hope I've been doing that with English, and I hope I've been doing that with the sports and things like that, because that makes a big difference in their lives. Because come on, we had a kid drafted in the second round by the Miami Dolphins last week. That's wonderful. But I look you in the eye and tell you this. There are so many young men. They weren't the first team guys. They were the second team, third team guys. But what did they learn? They learned that if they prepared mentally and physically and spiritually for any challenge, they'll be able to handle it. And it's amazing by believing in that mantra, believing in what that is, amazing doors open up. And what does it end up being anyway? What are we here for? We serve. That's what we do. You serve as a doctor, you serve as a senator, you serve as a football coach, you serve as an English teacher. That's what we're here on earth to do. That's what our Lord taught us to do, and that's where success really is. So again, I want to thank you very much for this honor. This is just an English teacher who's had a lot of fun coaching young men. Thank you very much.
East Mount Zion is in partnership with the Kindland Initiative because there are so many things that are happening in our neighborhoods and our community that need our attention. It is our responsibility to provide not only kindness, but it is our responsibility that provides resources, that dismantles the very things that causes kindness not to exist in our community. I pastor in the Fairfax neighborhood, a neighborhood plagued by joblessness, homelessness, racial disparities, racial insecurities, all kind of things that are happening in our neighborhood. And I, along with Kindland, have made it our pledge to go into these neighborhoods and provide the resources that will encourage them to be kind. For over a quarter of a century, Northeast Ohioans have welcomed Leon Bibb into their homes like a trusted friend to tell them stories of tragedy and triumph, loss and hope as only he can. Now, as we struggle to overcome a deadly pandemic, inequality, and economic crises, this award-winning journalist continues to shine a light on the things that matter to us with truth and integrity. For being a voice of reason and connecting force for so many for so long, we honor Leon Bibb with the Alan R. Schoenberg Community Rescue Award.
I worked with Leon at WKYC from somewhere in the late 1980s to somewhere in the 1990s. I can't remember exactly when it ended because our relationship continued after we separated as far as professional stations. But even before I started working with him, I worked with him in the field. Like I was a reporter in radio, and he was this icon in Cleveland because he was the first black anchor at 6 and 11 full-time in Cleveland. And so every now and then I would meet him out in the field, and I looked up to him, and when I started working with him, then I told him, he was like a role model to me. Leon, my friend, congratulations for getting yet another award. This time, the Alan R. Schonberg Award for Community Rescuer. And for everyone who's watching, this gives you an idea of why Leon deserves it.
An anniversary card, and one of encouragement for having made it 1 year. It's been that long since my lockdown began. Because of the pandemic, about a year ago, WKYC 3 News said, "Leon, go home, work from there." Many people could not work from home. Others had no jobs to which to report. Some still wait for an economic recovery. During the lockdown, I miss a lot. Restaurants, theater, large ballpark crowds, religious gatherings, in the pews. A year ago, we saw bare grocery store shelves of many products. The schoolhouse closed. Hugs were hands off. Handshakes disappeared. We are 12 months into the lockdown. The sad tally of COVID death is daily broadcast into our lives. But understand, each number is really a name and a face. Among the dead were 2 of my aunts I knew as young women as well as older women. Each had coronavirus. In my family archives, the recorded voice of one aunt from better times still speaks to me.
What do you think about 87 years?
I thank the Lord that He spared me to be here to see it.
We are continually reminded that life comes at you fast, filled with its twists and turns. But even in lockdown, I try to summon the goodness of life and build on the inspiring moments pointing me to a better future. When it was my turn, I accepted, aware science and medicine would give me your best shot. I figure it like this: a year into the lockdown, with the vaccine and everything else good, all of us must work together for a better future. I'm sending you a card of encouragement, reminding you that all of us can hold hands, in a way, and walk together toward the future. My card of encouragement to you. I'd send it in the U.S. mail, but television's faster. A year into the lockdown, I'm still saying, hang in there. We're in this together. Thinking of you, thinking of us. From Leon Bibb.
Everyone is quite familiar with how Leon uses words to not only define and communicate our reality, but his kindness comes through, and people get that and they understand it. It's only fitting that kindness kind of began and launched him into being the Leon that we understand. Leon, before he came to Cleveland, he was at Columbus. And how he got to Columbus starts with a kindness story back in Toledo. He was working for a Toledo station, a TV station back then. And he was driving to an assignment. You were actually working. And he saw a hitchhiker on the side of the road, a young hitchhiker. He passed the hitchhiker because, you're working, right? After about a mile, he said, you know what? Maybe I should pick about that young man. So he turned around and came back and got the young man. This was, remember when we used to be able to do that, right? So he had this young hitchhiker in the car, and the hitchhiker asked him, so what do you do? And he says, well, I'm a reporter at a TV station in Toledo. And the hitchhiker said, you know what? You need to talk to my girlfriend's mom. What does your girlfriend's mom do? Leon asked him. He said, she is the community affairs director at WCMH, the NBC affiliate in Columbus. Well, what do you think Leon did? He said, call her tomorrow. Leon called her the next day. He went to Columbus, and then he came to Cleveland. So it all started with an act of kindness. In all of his news roles since, he has been paying it forward, lifting people up, reporting the stories that need to be told, giving people hope and showing the community his special brand of humility and kindness. For these reasons, Values in Action Foundation awards Leon Bibb the Alan R. Schonberg Community Rescuer Award. It is my honor to be able to recognize him this way tonight. We can do this because we've been vaccinated, both of us.
Thank you, Obi. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Obi, for those wonderful words. You know, you learn kindness early in life. I'm going to take you back just a few years to the summer of my 9th year here in Cleveland. And the doorbell rang, and there was a police car parked out front in our driveway. And my mother looked at my dad and says, "Leon, what do you think they want?" And Dad said, "I don't know." And I'm wondering what happened. I knew Dad couldn't be in trouble. I didn't think so. Mother was a saint, couldn't be her. My sister was too young to get in trouble. I thought, well, maybe somebody saw me steal that piece of bubble gum from the store. I don't know. But at any rate, we let the police in, and the police told my dad that a man had been robbed and beaten severely in the city, not too far from where we lived in the Glenville area at that particular time, years ago. And the man got a partial license plate number, the police said. And they were checking out everybody who had those digits and letters on the license plate. He did not have all of the numbers, but he had some of the numbers. So the police said they were checking out everybody. And they wanted my dad to go to where the man was to stand as a one-person lineup and see if he was the guilty one. Well, I was 9 years old, almost a little bit older than my grandson, Jackson, who sits over there, at the age of 8. And I said, "Dad, I'm going with you because I've got to protect you." I couldn't let the police take my father off. I knew he had not done anything wrong. Well, we ended up about 5 miles away in a salvage yard, a junkyard, near the intersection of East 105th Street and Quincy Avenue. We went down a dusty road following the police. We drove our Buick. Dad drove the Buick, just the two of us. And we went into a shack. And inside that shack, or the headquarters of the salvage of the salvage army, a salvage yard, was an old man, and he had a bandage around his head, and there was blood spots on the bandage, and the man was just moaning. Oh, he was in desperate pain. And the police brought my father in, and they said, "Take a look at this fella. Is this the guy who robbed you and beat you up?" And my dad stepped forward, and the police said, "Step closer." He stepped closer, and the man looked at my dad and says, "Are you the fellow who beat me up and robbed me?" And my dad said, "No, that was not me, sir." And then the man said, I can hear it just all these years later in my brain, "No, that ain't him. That ain't the man. That's not the man who beat me up and robbed me." They told my dad he could go. So I pulled on Dad's hand. "Let's get to going, Dad. Let's go while the going is good." And my dad said, "Wait a minute, son. Wait just a moment." And my dad sat down with that man for the next 15 minutes. He sat with that man, and it began with, "Brother, is there anything I can do for you? Can I help you? Because you're in desperate need." We did not know this man. On the way home that day, my dad talked about helping people and about being a rescuer in the community. My dad taught me how to be kind to even the people you do not know. My dad talked about that on the way home as we drove home that day, the summer of my 9th year in Dad's Buick. I stand here to accept this award. I thank everybody from Values in Action, Stuart Musinski, and everybody else who had anything to do with this. I stand here thanking every one of you. As well, I stand here thanking my father, who's passed away, because Dad told me the importance of being kind. I learned it firsthand at home, and that's where it all begins. God bless you, and thank you.
We at the American Red Cross are excited to be part of the Kindland Initiative. I mean, it just makes sense. One of our values is compassion, which is really about caring, which is really another way of saying be kind. So whether we're donating blood or helping service members or helping those people impacted by home fires, the Red Cross is all about doing acts of kindness. For example, in Northern Ohio, we collect 50,000 units of blood every year. And each one of those units of blood helps up to 3 people. So right there alone is potentially 150,000 acts of kindness. So for us in the American Red Cross, the Kindland Initiative, we're all in. It's an awesome opportunity, and nothing beats being kind to each other. A constant cheerleader for his beloved hometown his entire professional life, David Gilbert has been at the forefront of promoting and enhancing Cleveland's visibility and reputation. As president and CEO of Destination Cleveland and the Cleveland Sports Commission, he continues to shine a national spotlight on all that is good in Cleveland. For his dedication to our hometown and his passion for its continued success, we honor David Gilbert with the Gordon E. Heffron Award for Values, Ethics, and Community.
Our mission is to bring sporting and other competitions to Cleveland for the benefit of helping the community, largely through economic development, but also through programming, youth programming, underprivileged youth in the city of Cleveland. We deal with a lot of constituencies, whether it's the leagues, the big boys, the NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball, the NCAA, the Olympic governing body. But he also deals with these little, small high school athletic competitions where every high school athlete is dealt with kindness and respect, and they all walk away better for it. And that's the thing that really matters to us as an organization. And David is the leader. He's the North Star to this effort. I can say honestly, 15 years working closely with him in all kinds of situations. The amazing thing is I'm not aware of one person who doesn't really like David, because he's transparent, he's respectful, he tells it like it is without sugarcoating. He doesn't have another agenda other than to try to help move the needle and push things forward for our community.
He does what he does because he cares. He really does love this community, and he's for several decades has been leading the charge to transform the world's view and image of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. And the progress that's been made has been incredible. We've hosted so many amazing events and done it successfully on a world-class basis, from the countless sporting events through the Sports Commission and the countless conventions, including the Republican National Convention. So his ability to execute on those highly complex and world-class events has really transformed the world's view of this region and the city of Cleveland.
I grew up in Cleveland, in the suburbs of Cleveland, and wonderful, close family life, and I think I've always loved the community I've grown up in, and I realized as I got older, into high school, into college, some college internships, how much this community meant to me, and how much I wanted to do something to help advance the community. I think the core values that guide me are certainly the old adage about treating people the way you'd want to be treated. It's also very much about being humble. You do things to help because it's the right thing to do, not because you expect something in return. At the end of the day, being a role model in anything in life is the key. You lead by example. Whether that is in your personal life or your professional life. And if you always keep that in mind, it does help you to be a better person and hopefully bring the most to the world that you can. It really is wonderful, and I'm very proud to receive this Gordon E. Heffron Award. And that the organization has thought enough of me to think that I'm part of this elite group that's been awarded this in the past.
David, congratulations. Awesome and well-deserved. Congratulations on the Gordon Heffron Award for Values, Ethics, and Community. This is who you are. It's a great recognition. Well-deserved. Way to go, David. Congrats.
David, on behalf of Destination Cleveland's board and our wonderful staff, I want to congratulate you for receiving the Gordon E. Heffron Award. You embodied this award and the principles behind it. No one deserves it more than you. The work that you've done for our community and for our city has been transformational. And on behalf of our board, we look forward to many more years of continued success. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening. And this is surreal. I think this is the most people I've been around without masks in a long time. So, it's nice to be here, getting back to some sense of normalcy. So, I'm John Penny. I'm the managing partner of Corman Jackson and Krantz, and I'm also have the honor of serving as the chair of the board of Destination Cleveland. And I'm accompanied by a number of our amazing colleagues, and on behalf of our board, I'm pleased to be here, as well as on behalf of our great partner organization, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission. And so we have the real pleasure of having really the equivalent of one of the top CEOs in the country at his craft. David is an amazing person, but he's also one of the most talented people I've ever seen in connection with his industry. He's also one of the most kind people and genuine people, and he leads in that fashion. And Destination Cleveland's board about a decade ago asked him to take on an impossible task. We asked him to transform the image of our community and our city, and to do it in a way that had a global effect and a transformative effect for our tourism industry and for our community. And with each of these amazing events that he's hosted and executed in a world-class fashion, we erase many years of negativity, and we create a whole new image of our incredible city. And the list is too long to go through all of them, but from the NFL draft, which was an incredible success, and I want to say congratulations for that. It's amazing. Just an incredible image of the city, the number of fans, despite the first day rain pouring in, and it was an amazing showing and an incredible execution under very difficult circumstances given the pandemic. So on behalf of our board and the board of the Sports Commission, it is absolutely my honor to award David this honor tonight. Nobody deserves it more. He's done more to transform our community than just about anybody, and his legacy will be marked by decades of service to rebuilding our image, our brand, and doing it in a way that nobody else could. David, I'm honored to stand here and present you this award. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I am really honored, and thanks to Stuart and Values in Action Foundation. This award means a lot because of what it stands for. And to me, it's not meaningful because of the RNC and the draft and a lot of those events, but because it's about values and how you treat people, how you make people feel. And to me, that's why I really feel very, very honored to get this award. A lot of thank yous to John and Doug Neary, my bosses, and also great friends. And they're the chairs of two boards that I'm very honored to work for that are tremendous partners and supporters, and an incredible group of people to work with. Staff, some of whom are here, that I get to spend every day with, who are so incredibly passionate about what they do, and I'm lucky. And my wife, who I get to spend my life with, I'm lucky. This happens to me all the time. I also want to say, it's for my mom and my dad, who recently passed away. They were married 61 years, and all my life I've never heard one person say a bad word about either of them. And just amazing role models. I'm just one of the luckiest people alive to have role models like my parents. And then I guess finally, now that part's over, I'm very just optimistic about our community. And I just have to tell you one quick story. The NFL draft was here and was a huge success. It was everything we hoped it would be, even in a pandemic. The numbers of people, the tens of millions of people who watched our city looked great, the excitement. But the one thing I kept hearing over and over again from people out of town is they all commented on how wonderful Clevelanders were. And to me, that's why I love our community. So, thank you.
I like sticking together with my friends and family like duct tape. I think this program is important because it's means about helping each other and working together as a group. Be kind, stick together.
Just before Christmas in 1994, Malden Mills, the largest textile mill operating in the United States, nearly burned to the ground. Fortunately, workers were not in the building in Lawrence, Massachusetts. At his 70th birthday party, Aaron Feuerstein, the company's CEO, was notified of the disaster. Workers clearly expected to get their pink slips and for the family to collect handsomely on the insurance money.
We all had the same thought in mind. This is it. This is probably the last time we'll ever see each other.
But the next day, Aaron Feuerstein astounded his workers and the world.
I'm happy to announce to you that at least for the next 30 days, all our employees will be paid their full salaries.
Project Love established, with Aaron Feuerstein's permission, the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award.
I feel that there's a responsibility that each corporation has for its people and for its community.
Thank you, Mr. Bertram and the Giant Company, for teaching us about kindness and sticking together by funding this program in our school. And congratulations on receiving the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award.
Giant is rooted and grounded in the community. In my store, we see teachers and leaders from the community and friends, and Giant really serves as that sort of central anchor for the community.
Oh, I love working for Giant. One of my favorite things. I get to talk to the customers. Just a wonderful place. The employees are great to work with.
The Giant Company values are care, integrity, teamwork, courage, and humor. And Nick lives those values every day. And he encourages us as his team members to make decisions based on those values.
Over this past year, which as we all know has been probably the most difficult any of us have faced as a society, Nick and I talked extensively about what was going on from the disease perspective, from the economy perspective, and constantly talking, and what entered into virtually every conversation was his concern for the people of this organization. How could he keep the people in the stores safe?
Nick is our leader at the Giant Company, bases every decision on how it's going to affect someone else, who it's going to affect. The care that he puts into his daily work and decisions is very inspiring, and it encourages all of us to think that way.
His whole personality is rooted in service. He has a strong faith in God, and he treats others the way they're supposed to be treated.
I think he's driven by this desire to always be better, to get the most out of himself, to get the most out of what this organization can be, and to bring that achievement, to bring that sense of purpose to everybody associated with the organization, to make everyone as good as they can be.
I think what drives him is the opportunities to see people be encouraged and be able to do the things that they can do best.
If he can do something to make a difference in one person's life or multiple people's lives, then Nick is happy, and that's what drives him to keep going.
Growing up in a small town in Kentucky, in a broken family that really worked very hard in a family business just to get by, I know what it feels like to be left out. I know what it feels like to be made fun of. I know what it feels like to experience the opposite of kindness. And my grandparents, my parents, or really those in our church, always made sure to talk about treating others better than you expect to be treated. And that stuck with me. COVID caused us to do things a lot differently, but it also caused us to probably lean into our shared value of care, where we were doing everything that we could just to be present, just to be, you can see a smile from behind the mask. When I think of Malden Mills and I think about literally rising from the ashes, I guess is a really good way to say it. I think about similar moments inside of our company's history, inside of our, the challenges that we have faced. I personally want to leave the world better than I found it, and I do have a great deal of hope for the future. And I love building teams that do that and feel that same optimism for what is possible. And everything that I do personally, everything my wife and I do with our family, everything I do professionally, and everything that I do in serving the community is about creating hope.
Congratulations to the Giant Company and Nick for everything you've done. You definitely deserve this acknowledgement, and wish you great success in the future.
Nick, on behalf of me personally, on behalf of the employees of the Chamber and our almost 10,000 members across Pennsylvania, I'd like to congratulate you on this well-deserved award and congratulate the Giant Company on achieving this as well, and thank you and them for being part of the business community here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Congratulations, Nick, and thank you for all that you do.
Nick, congratulations and good luck. We love you.
Kindness and responsibility are in Nick Bertram's and the Giant Company's DNA. Now, I can say a few personal words about Nick Bertram because I've known him for a long time. Going back to Nick Bertram's roots as a stock boy for Walmart, climbing to one of their key regional managers, then going to Osco Jewel in Chicago, and then coming over to the Giant Company in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, Nick has had responsibility, kindness, and heart at the forefront of how he runs his businesses. And that has taken root here at the Giant Company. If you look at the Giant Company, and especially if you're a vendor and under normal times you walk into their lobby, you're greeted with apples and oranges. That's very rare for a retail company. I've been in many retail company lobbies, and usually you're greeted by a row of chairs and maybe a hello. But it's different in the Giant Company. If you go through the halls of the Giant Company headquarters, you see people enjoying their jobs, and you see lots of smiles. If you go through the aisles of any Giant Company store, whether it is Giant or Martin's or Heirloom Market or their new urban format in Philadelphia, you see people greeting people. Really, grocery stores are still the public squares of all of our communities. And you see lots of kindness, interchangeable between customers and the people who stock the shelves, the people who man the cash registers, and the people who are behind the customer service desk. That is what Giant Company does. And during the pandemic, we really have to take our hats off to grocers like the Giant Company because they kept us going. They were on the front lines. They kept the shelves stocked. They kept food flowing into America. And although there have been tremendous inequities in our country, these are the people on the front lines who kept our country going in so many different ways. So for the combination of heart and responsibility, Nick Bertram and the Giant Company are receiving this year's Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award. Nick, if I could just call you over. I'd like to present you and the Giant Company with this beautiful award, which represents corporate responsibility in the community. And that's exactly what you represent, Nick. And thank you so much for your years of friendship and for leading this great company, for setting an example in our entire country.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much. That is beautiful. Wow. Oh. I am very grateful to you for a variety of reasons, and while awards are always appreciated and recognition is nice, when it comes from someone that you genuinely respect deeply and consider a friend, it's even more meaningful. So I proudly accept this on behalf of 35,000 teammates who bring it to life every day, but thank you very much. I do want to thank Stuart Muszynski and the Values in Action Foundation for recognizing us with the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award. And it pains me not to be there in person, but I'm thankful for moments like this where technology allow us to be together, even from afar. You know, of course, if you know anything about Malden Mills, you know that it set a tremendous example of what kindness, caring, and respect look like in the workplace by the way they treated their employees after the company's devastating fire back in 1995. So I'm honored to accept an award bearing the name of such a caring company on behalf of our 35,000 teammates who are the passionate heart of the giant company. You know, we're guided by a shared purpose, which is connecting families for a better future. We too seek to make kindness, caring, courage, integrity, and teamwork central to our workplace and to the communities that we very proudly serve. The work that you're doing at the Values in Action Foundation to spread kindness, respect, and caring throughout our nation's communities is honestly more important today than perhaps ever in the past. Despite the challenges that we've all faced over the past year, I must congratulate Values in Action for all that you've done, more to overcome logistical challenges and make your programs available virtually. I mean, you launched Just Be Kind and Kindland, creating 6 new social justice lesson plans and advancing your at-risk school model in the midst of all this. I mean, it's just nothing short of extraordinary. Seriously, congratulations. So I want to say thank you for your incredible work, making our shared world a better, kinder place to live. I know my wife and our 4 boys appreciate that, and I hope that my children grow up in a world that's kinder than, honestly, the world that I grew up in. So finally, I just want to congratulate the other award winners from today. We are honored to be among them. Congratulations to the entire Values in Action team, and thanks again for this unbelievable honor. Take care.
As somebody that was born and raised here in Northeast Ohio, I'm blessed to continue to be able to work in the communities that I grew up in. Part of this opportunity that we're looking at with Kindland was really reflective of this last year and a lot of the challenges that we've had. And Kindland is an opportunity to be able to tell the story of all of the positive things that we're seeing each and every day in our communities. At the Illuminating Company and our 900 plus team members, we are very excited to be part of this and to be able to tell the story of the things we do as individuals in our communities and that we also see others doing and help tell the story of Northeast Ohio, Cleveland, and Kindland. Rob Roman and his family know how to work together for success. Whether sailing their Lightning sailboat to a world championship or their renowned philanthropy in education and healthcare, the Romans are committed to the best possible outcomes. Though their publicly traded company has international reach, they continue the tradition of family, promoting the values of kindness and caring throughout the entire organization. For their deep commitment to the greater good and the example they set for all, we honor Rob, his family, and Perform Line Products with the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award.
I think the key value of Rob's values and really the company's values is taking a long-term perspective on the business. We had a really good example of that when industry was kind of down and a lot of our competitors were laying off salespeople, cutting back on things, and Rob specifically drove us to keep the people, keep the salespeople, even though we would end up with some short-term financial pain. But in the end, that's what's made us successful, and we've grown from there.
We're a publicly traded company, but we don't act like one. We certainly don't manage like one. You know, we do our best to manage as a small family business would manage. Gets trickier the bigger we get, but we're cognizant of that, and that pushes down through.
I think when you look at why Rob does what Rob does, I think it's because he gets enjoyment out of seeing his employees be successful. I think it's very important to Rob to know he's contributing to society.
We have the freedom to explore and to try and to dig in. And in a lot of cases, we don't do it enough as far as he's concerned. You know, he told us a couple years ago he's tired of us dipping our toes in things and we need to fully jump in the water. And so he gives you that freedom.
He drives me to succeed. He lets me take risks. He has the kindness to step in when employees are having problems. I think it's the family culture of the Ruhlmans that they brought into the company here.
I think at the end you can say Rob's values was based around do the right thing.
I remember riding to church. We were at a stoplight at the top of Forest Hills Boulevard and Mayfield Road, waiting to turn left to head out to church. And my grandfather asked me if I knew what the golden rule was. All you really need to know in life is the golden rule. Is to treat everybody else the way you would like to be treated. What drives the way I operate the company, it's two things. We do the right thing, stay on the up and up with everybody about everything, and then you don't lie awake at night. The second thing that drives me is I just enjoy having fun. I want this to be a place that I would want to work at. My number one priority is our employees, because happy, motivated, engaged employees results in very happy customers. And you got those two things covered, then happy shareholders kind of falls into place naturally. The greatest satisfaction I have after all these years is that we've been able to grow to be the size of company that we are, while maintaining and staying true to who we are. We've been able to triple the size of the organization without losing that character. It's important to me that we've maintained that character because it's what got us to where we are.
Rob, I want to congratulate you on winning the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award to you and your family. From a personal standpoint, I would say that it's an understatement to say that this is a well-deserved reward. You look at the success of Preform Line Products under your leadership, it has been phenomenal. I'd like to thank you for taking a chance on me and helping develop me into the person I have become. Thank you for everything you've done for all of our employees and for my family in particular. Rob, congratulations. A job well done.
Rob, just wanted to say congratulations on receiving the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award. Very well deserved, and I can't say enough about all the support and guidance you've given me and leadership over the years. I appreciate that. I appreciate what the Ruhlman family has done for me and the company as well. And on behalf of the whole global team at PLP, really appreciate your leadership and guidance.
Dad, congratulations on the Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award. The family is incredibly, incredibly proud of the job you've done, of the leader that you are. We appreciate you. We love you. Congratulations. Nicely done.
Hi, I'm Mike Gibbons, and I am the Senior Managing Director of Brown Gibbons Lang & Company. For the last several years, I've been increasingly more involved with values in action, and if you know Stuart Mazinski, that increasing activity will probably continue. And I'm just very pleased to be involved in this important event that's so important to the organizations going forward. Over the last 13 years, I've also been honored to be one of the board of directors of Preform Line Products. And, I'd say a lot about Preform, but I think in this social and political environment that we're living in, where capitalism, the very system that got us to where we've become the greatest country in the world, is being increasingly criticized, Preform Line stands as a model of what an American manufacturing company should be: successful and responsible. I have 5 children, and one of them, my son, Brian, is an aerospace engineering graduate at Georgia Tech. He's now a lieutenant and and a pilot in the U.S. Navy. And Ryan was given the opportunity to work at Preform Line during one of his summers during college and in the engineering department. And even now, years later, when he discusses what he wants to do when he gets out of the Navy, he says, I'd like to work in a company like Preform Line Products. I think that says a lot. The Roman family started PLP and is really the root of all the good things that PLP is. As we heard in the video, Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award recognizes and honors corporate leaders who exemplify the values demonstrated by Malden Mills CEO Aaron Feuerstein. The Roman family is legendary in its philosophic commitment to healthcare and education in Northeastern Ohio. And that would be enough of a legacy. But Rob Roman and the continuing generations of the Roman family have done much more. They inspire and empower their employees around the globe with values and kindness, caring and respect. The walls of the global headquarters of Preform Line Products show employees collaborating on work, but also enjoying family picnics, company bowling leagues, community projects, and happy occasions. Employees are extended family and are treated as such. Many have logged in 20, 30, and 40 years of loyal and happy employment. The reception area of Preformed, decked out in Preform blue, has a director of first impressions who greets visitors with a smile. Preform Line Products is known around the world for its preformed cable connector and anchoring products, but the company and family are really run on human connection. For this connectedness to community and people, Rob Roman, the Roman family, and Preform Line Products are receiving the 2021 Malden Mills Corporate Kindness Award. Rob, I'm honored to give you this award.
Mike, thank you. First of all, I am nowhere near the orator that Chuck, Leon, David, or Nick are. So it's a hard act to follow. You guys are great, and congratulations very much on your awards. You heard the word family used a lot in the video and in Mike's speech, and really, I give a lot of credit to my family and my lovely wife of 42 years, which has had a lot to do with everything here. I probably wouldn't be standing here had Abby and I not gotten married way back when. In the video, you heard me talk about my grandfather and the Golden Rule thing, and his picture to this day hangs in our home office, and I see him every day, and I'm just reminded of actually that moment. It's a lot of fun doing what we do, and I love watching the way people get to grow through our organization. That's the magic of the whole thing. I'm really not good at this this public speaking stuff, which is weird for a guy that used to sing in a band, right? You would think I'd be pretty comfortable up here. Stuart, what you and your organization do is a marvelous, marvelous thing, and in this day and age needed now more than ever, and so thank you very much for that. And I'm just going to close this out by saying thank you all, and I hope that kindness becomes the most contagious disease we ever see.
The Cuyahoga County Police Chiefs Association and Kindland have partnered on an initiative to spread the message of kindness. A police officer, when making a traffic stop, will be handing out a magnet with the Kindland message, make a positive impact on someone's day. This will be in lieu of a traffic ticket. Our goal is to spread positivity throughout the community. His childhood and education in Romania, interrupted by Soviet oppression, separation from his parents, and forced labor, Peter Georgescu's story of resilience and overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds is the American dream incarnate. Today, his quest to create a more inclusive world with opportunity for all inspires us. For his value-based leadership throughout his career and relentless pursuit of a more equitable workplace, we honor Peter Georgescu with the Rescuer of Humanity Award.
I was born just as the Second World War was about to begin. My dad was the general manager at that time of the largest oil field in Europe, Standard Oil of New Jersey, Exxon. Within 6-7 months after my birth, my father was arrested by the Romanian sympathizing regime with the Nazis. And my brother, who's 5 years older, and I went to live with my grandparents in Transylvania. From prison, my dad became involved with fellow inmates who happened to be very influential political leaders. They created a plot against the Germans. The plot came to fruition. So when the Russian forces came through Romania on the way to Germany, there was hardly any resistance. After the end of the war, we went to live with my mother and father in Bucharest, just slightly more than a year. And at that time, my mother and father went to New York on what was to be a 2-week trip to the headquarters of Esso International. And just at that moment, the Iron Curtain falls down. And they knew that my father's name was on a list to arrest my father and mother and kill them. So they convinced them that there was no point for them to go back to Romania. There was no way for them to help us. And shortly thereafter, my grandfather was arrested and he was murdered in prison. My grandmother, my brother, and I were arrested as well. For the first year or so, I worked in the sewers. I was small enough to fit modestly comfortable in the underground tunnels, and I spent my day cleaning sewers. And then every 5 or 6 weeks, the secret police would interrogate, and he would yell at me and tell me what a horrible parents we had, traitors to Romania. That's why you were here. Inside, I was terrified, absolutely shaking. Outside, I would yell back at the guy. You're not telling the truth. My parents are good people. There was no way out. It's inconceivable. My parents were over there. We're over here. The communists controlled everything. There was no way out. We later understood why we were kept alive. And it became clear in retrospect. They came to my father and said, look, basically, you want to see your boys alive again? You're going to spy for us. So that morning, he went to the FBI and told them the story. The FBI at first tried to convince him to become a double agent. And my father demurred. He said, look, sooner or later, they'll ask me to do something that I just can't do, and they will kill the boys anyway. What else can we do? He said, look, here's a way. Go to the press with this story and tell them about this blackmail.
On May the 20th, I received a telephone call from a stranger who wanted to come and see me. He identified himself as First Secretary of the Romanian Popular Republic. Then produced a picture of my 2 sons recently taken. He then asked me to collaborate politically. I told him that he seemed to ignore that I was an American citizen. The only course left to us is to pray the good Lord that the worldwide public opinion will help to have our children restored to us.
Every little town in America, you'll find in 1953 the story of blackmail of the Georgescu boys. One of the persons who read the story was a congresswoman from Ohio, Frances Payne Bolton. In the end, she ends up in Ike's office. Mr. President, please get the boys out of Romania. And so we got traded for a bunch of Russian spies, and my brother and I came to New York on April 13th, 1954. Another miracle happens. The headmaster of Exeter calls my father, end of April 54, said, I'll keep a place for your young son. My father says he doesn't speak English, and he hadn't gone to school from 2nd grade. And he said, he'll be okay.
Peter Georgescu learned English and went on to Princeton and Stanford Business School, moving to the world of Madison Avenue in the days of Mad Men. He started as a researcher at Young and Rubicam and rose to become chairman and CEO of the advertising giant. Now Georgescu has a new mission. Having seen the worst socialism has to offer and what capitalism at its best can mean for those in need, he's urging corporations to return to pursuing the best for all their stakeholders, shareholders, workers, customers, and society at large.
We are all somehow products of our background and influenced by our growing up years, and he saw firsthand what can happen when governments go awry. I think that background probably has fueled his passion and inspired his dedication to try to do something to correct the widening equality gap in this country and abroad.
He has these strong beliefs that one can run a business and treat employees well and make sure they are paid enough and have health coverage that would ensure a good life for them. I think Peter's efforts to pay people better are being reflected in some of the House and Senate's efforts on the minimum wage. I think Peter's efforts are starting to bear fruit.
We are trying to develop a set of principles that can guide business behavior for the next 50 years. To enshrine these within a new playbook, a new blueprint, if you will, for business leadership, which we call stakeholder capitalism. And right now, we're spreading the gospel of that. We are encouraging business organizations and really trying to sort of light the way for many, many business leaders in America who believe in that. And there are many, many CEOs who support that and who, look to people like Peter with his experience and his credibility for guidance. I think we can influence a whole generation of corporate American leaders.
It can come as a shock to no one who knows Peter that he left his firm after decades of hard work. And then instead of stepping back and relaxing, he instead jumped into stakeholder capitalism. Because this is a man who is truly mission driven. And this is part of the power of his life. It's the power of Peter Georgescu.
Good evening. My name is Stuart Cole, and it's my great honor to present to you this year's recipient of the Rescuer of Humanity Award, Peter Georgescu. Peter's a dear friend, a mentor, and an inspiration to me and so many others. As you saw, when Peter was 9 years old, he was imprisoned in a Russian-backed Romanian hard labor camp along with his older brother. His grandfather had already been killed by the communists, and his grandmother alone had tried to protect the boys, but to no avail. The boys were to be examples of how the Romanian communist regime treated capitalists, as their father was an executive stationed in New York with a major international company. His parents ultimately gained the boys' freedom in a deal brokered through the US government at the behest of then Cleveland area Congresswoman Frances Bolton. From that point, Congresswoman Bolton took an interest in Peter, paying his way at Exeter Academy and later assisting at Princeton University. Peter earned an MBA at Stanford and was hired by advertising giant Young and Rubicam, where he rose to become chairman and CEO, leading this storied firm to great achievement. Upon his retirement from Y&R, he has emerged as a visionary and evangelist for social business responsibility, working behind the scenes to influence America's CEOs to embrace social good alongside of shareholder values. His success has shown a path to other CEOs, and he significantly inspired the 2019 Business Roundtable Social Responsibility Statement. Peter proves that doing good and being kind are not in opposition to doing well. And in fact, at both the micro and macro levels, each is essential to the other. He personally experienced extreme pain and hardship early in his life, seeing the worst in human nature. And he has responded with an unyielding belief in goodness and possibility. For that reason, tonight, he rightly joins prior recipients, Steven Spielberg, Jimmy Carter, Dr. Bennett Amalu, King Hussein II, the Tuskegee Airmen, and other luminaries in receiving the Values in Actions Rescuer of Humanity Award.
Good evening, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to first thank Stuart Cole for the very overly generous introduction and also for your steadfast friendship over the years. So let me tell you, Stuart, I salute you, I respect you, and so admire you for the countless good causes you helped blossom in your Cleveland community and also across the land. So to you, Stuart, go my grateful thanks and my deep, deep appreciation. But I should also say that we're here tonight to answer the calls from communities and a nation in need. We hear pleas from people struggling, from people devastated by the damage of a vicious pandemic, as well as the pain and suffering we're often, too often, inflicting on one another. So we came here tonight seeking some of the tools and potions that can help us create a better union as a country by helping us become better people. Yes, better individuals, better families, better family members, better neighborhoods, better citizens, better business people. Indeed, we are also here tonight to acknowledge that our friend Stuart Muszynski has given us many of the tools, the secret sauce, to help us better achieve our lofty aspirations and hopes. He has pointed us to our values, to our better angels. He has directed us to commit to more compassion, more caring, more kindness. Yes, more kindness in everything we do. So I'm here tonight to salute Stuart Muszynski and to salute Values in Action. This brotherhood of women and men committed to values, to kindness, can help make our world, our community, a better place to be, a better place to live for our children. Thank you, Stuart, for your guidance, your inspiration. And please, please redouble your efforts to reach out to more and more of the kindred spirits reflected in this virtual gathering tonight. Grateful thanks, Stuart, for what you have done and for what you will continue to do in the days ahead for our needy, needy nation. So I wish you good luck, Stuart, and Godspeed. Thank you all very much.
I want to thank our Values in Action team of incredible, incredible professionals who have worked tirelessly on this event, and over the past year have all been working virtually. And as you heard from Nick Bertram, we've expanded programming, we've converted to virtual programming. We really haven't missed a beat, and then some. We've exceeded our expectations, and thanks to all of you and your support, we have exceeded our goal tonight, which was set at $500,000, and we have almost raised $520,000. So thank you, everyone. I want to read this magnet that is on everyone's tables, because the people who are tuning in virtually don't have it in front of them. And I think that this will give meaning. I think that it reflects a lot of what we're all thinking, but I think it'll give additional meaning. And it starts by saying values matter. And it was sent to me last year by someone on Facebook. And she felt that it would be meaningful, and it has been. And it reads, as the world fights to figure everything out, I'll be holding doors for strangers, letting people cut in front of me in traffic, saying good morning, keeping babies entertained in grocery lines, stopping to talk to someone who is lonely, being patient with sales clerks, smiling at a passerby. I will be kind to a stranger, give grace to friends who are having a bad day, be forgiving of myself and others. Why? Because I will not stand idly by and live in a world where love is invisible. Be the change, just be kind. Thank you also to all of our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, presented by sponsor Brown Gibbons Lang & Company, our presenting sponsors, the Georgescu family, the Giant Company, Preformed Line Products, Riverside, and Splash Financial, and all of our other sponsors. And now, an incredible treat, the world-famous Singing Angels.
Questions I have, listen to me. It's all very simple.
Let's continue enjoying, and thanks again for your support, and God bless you all. Have a nice evening.